Okay, let's unpack this. For years, right, we've all heard it, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But what if that whole idea, the one shaping your morning, maybe for decades, what if it's actually working against you, especially, as we get a bit older?
That's exactly the core question we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into some really surprising new science. It suggests that skipping breakfast sometimes, or time-restricted eating, it might actually be this powerful tool for anti-aging, for vitality. So our mission here is to cut through the noise, look at the evidence, and maybe challenge some beliefs you've held for a long, long time. We want to give you a clear shortcut to understanding this potentially life-changing approach.
Yeah, and when we say long-held beliefs, we're not just talking habits, are we? It feels deeper, like decades of cultural programming, an entire industry message, maybe?
Yeah.
Something so embedded, it just feels like common sense. So get ready, because what we're about to discuss might really shift how you think about that first meal, and maybe your long-term health, too. Let's just jump right in. The first, maybe shocking thing, that phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It wasn't some ancient health secret or a doctor's order. Apparently, it was literally invented by cereal companies back in the early 1900s. I mean, honestly, for years, I'd feel genuinely guilty if I missed breakfast, like I was doing something wrong.
Right. And that feeling, that guilt, it's a testament to brilliant marketing. It was a slogan specifically pushed by the Kellogg Company. The goal, simple. Sell more cornflakes. And wow, did they succeed. It just soaked into the culture, became this unquestionable truth. But crucially, without any real solid scientific evidence backing it up at the time, it really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Where does our health wisdom actually come from sometimes?
It absolutely does. You start questioning all sorts of ingrained habits. How did this marketing message get so powerful, influencing doctors, our parents, our own assumptions about a healthy start? It's quite something. But okay. Here's where it gets really fascinating. While we've been diligently eating that quote-unquote most important meal, what is our body actually trying to do when we first wake up before we eat?
Exactly. So in that morning window, before food hits your system, your body enters this really beautiful state. It's called autophagy. Think of it like your body's own internal, highly sophisticated recycling program. You have these microscopic janitors, basically, working overtime. They're scouring your cells, cleaning out damaged parts, old protein gunk, just accumulated cellular garbage.
Wow.
It's this critical repair and regeneration process, essential for rejuvenation from the inside out. And this isn't just some, wellness trend. The research behind autophagy, it won the Nobel Prize in Medicine back in 2016. It's serious science. Here's an analogy. Imagine your body is like a house. Every single night while you're asleep, this dedicated cleaning crew comes in, they tidy up, they repair little damages, they haul out the trash. It keeps the house running smoothly.
That's a great way to picture it. The body's cleaning crew hard at work. So if that's happening naturally, what does our typical breakfast do? The one often loaded with carbs, sugars, cereals, toast, juice. Does it just shut the whole cleaning operation down?
It slams the brakes on it. Pretty much instantly. The moment you eat, especially those carbs and sugars, you flood your system with glucose. That triggers insulin. And the insulin signal basically tells your body, okay, emergency over, stop the deep cleaning, start storing this incoming energy. So those cellular janitors, they get the message. They pack up their tools, they clock out. And all that cellular debris, the stuff they were supposed to clear, it just gets left behind. Piles up day after day, year after year. This constant interruption, well, it's thought to be a key way we might actually accelerate aging at the cellular level.
Wow. Okay, so stopping the cleanup crew. Let's make this real. Let's talk about Margaret. You mentioned her story, a 68-year-old from Ohio. Tell us about her.
Yes, Margaret. A wonderful example. She was very routine-oriented. For over 40 years, like clockwork, 7 a.m. cornflakes and orange juice every single morning. And she truly believed she was doing the right thing. Her doctor said breakfast was key. Health magazine said so. It was the cornerstone, she thought, of good health. But here's the thing. Despite this diligence, Margaret was she was tired all the time. Her blood sugar, it was all over the place, spiking and crashing. Felt like a roller coaster. Her arthritis was getting worse, and she just felt like she was aging faster than her friends. She didn't connect it at the time, but that daily breakfast, especially the sugar and carbs, was likely triggering inflammation, contributing to her fatigue, her pain, her cellular aging.
So she's following the standard advice, best intentions, but feeling worse. That's tough. But then she found out about skipping breakfast strategically. What happened then?
The change was honestly remarkable. Within just 2 weeks of pushing her first meal later, her energy levels just soared. Better than they've been in years, she said. Her joint pain started to ease up. And that brain fog she'd kind of accepted as normal, gone. Lifted like morning mist was how she put it. She felt like she was inhabiting a younger version of herself. It was quite profound for her. And it wasn't just a short-term boost. After about 6 months, her blood pressure actually normalized, without medication, which was huge. Her arthritis pain reduced so much she could garden again, something she loved but had given up. Sleep improved, her skin looked clearer, and her doctor, apparently, was amazed at her blood work, especially those inflammatory markers in her glucose control. They were drastically better. It really shows the body's power to bounce back when you work with it.
Margaret's story is really powerful. It just flips that whole most important meal idea on its head. It definitely makes you pause and think, doesn't it? How might my own morning routine be affecting my energy and my health day in and day out? Okay, so Margaret's experience is compelling, but let's zoom out. What's the broader science here? What did the big studies, the institutions say?
Yeah, the research is growing, and it's coming from very reputable places. Harvard, Johns Hopkins, the National Institute on Aging. One huge benefit they consistently find is improved insulin sensitivity. Studies like those reported in the New England Journal of Medicine show significant improvements when people adopt intermittent fasting patterns. Now, why is this so critical, especially as you get older? Because insulin resistance is a root cause of so many problems. We're talking type 2 diabetes, heart disease, even Alzheimer's. Many age-related diseases are linked to poor insulin sensitivity. Dr. Jason Fung explains it well. He says, frequent eating, especially carb-heavy breakfasts, keeps your insulin levels high all the time, and high insulin blocks your body from burning stored fat. It keeps you locked in this cycle of hunger and energy crashes. Skipping breakfast lets those insulin levels naturally fall. Your body can then switch gears, start burning its own stored fat for fuel. And fat provides this clean, really consistent, abundant energy source. No more roller coaster. Then there's brain health. This is fascinating. Fasting triggers the production of something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it like a miracle fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps grow new neurons. It strengthens the connections between existing ones. It might even help reverse some cognitive decline we used to think was inevitable. Japanese researchers have seen really remarkable improvements: memory, focus, mental clarity. They're even looking at its potential for preventing dementia and Alzheimer's. Turns out, in a fasted state, your brain runs beautifully on ketones that clean fuel from fat burning, maybe even better than on constant glucose spikes. And for people over 60, there's a crucial point about weight management and muscle. Studies show that older adults doing intermittent fasting often lose weight more effectively than those just cutting calories. But here's the key part. They tend to preserve more lean muscle mass while losing fat, and maintaining muscle is absolutely vital for strength, mobility, independence, quality of life as you age. And finally, let's talk inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is like this slow-burning fire inside your body, damaging cells over time. Giving your digestive system a regular break by skipping breakfast seems to help cool that fire down. Research from places like the Intermountain Medical Center shows lower levels of C-reactive protein. That's a key inflammation marker in people who fast regularly. This translates to potentially lower risk for heart disease, certain cancers, autoimmune conditions. The list goes on.
It really sounds like a cascade of benefits, not just one thing, but this interconnected web improving overall health. It's not just about skipping food, it's about triggering these positive responses.
Exactly, and it goes even deeper than that. There's evidence suggesting that these fasting periods, say 14 to 16 hours regularly, they actually activate specific genes associated with longevity, like one called FOXO3. These genes seem to be turned on by mild, manageable stressors like fasting. And when they're activated, they trigger protective mechanisms. They slow down cellular aging, boost disease resistance. It's like helping your body literally turn back the clock at a cellular level. This ties right into the work people like Dr. David Sinclair at Harvard are doing. He talks about these survival pathways. Mild stressors like fasting or even exercise kick these pathways into gear. They enhance things like DNA repair, make our cells tougher, more resilient against the damage that causes aging. There's a concept called hormesis, basically. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but on a cellular level. These small stresses strengthen the system.
So it's like we're designed for this. We're not depriving ourselves. We're actually tapping into our body's own built-in programs for resilience and self-healing just by, well, getting out of its way for a few extra hours in the morning, letting it do its job. Okay, this all sounds incredibly promising. But let's be practical. I can hear people thinking, okay, but what about the hunger, feeling weak, lightheaded, and what do I tell my family when I skip our usual breakfast? These are real hurdles.
They absolutely are, and it's important to address them head on. Firstly, that initial feeling, the weakness, the hunger pangs, often that's not true physiological needs, more like withdrawal. Withdrawal from being constantly fed, especially carbs. Your body's incredibly adaptable. It can and will switch to burning its own fat reserves for fuel. That provides really steady, sustained energy. Remember, our ancestors didn't have refrigerators or 24/7 food access. They routinely went 12, 16, maybe even 20 hours between meals. It's quite natural for our bodies. The trick is, don't just jump into a 16-hour fast cold turkey. Start gradually. If you eat at 7 a.m. now, try pushing it to 8 a.m. for a few days, then 9 a.m., then 10 a.m. Inch your way towards maybe noon or whenever feels comfortable for your first meal. And during those morning hours, hydration is key. Water, herbal tea, black coffee, fine. Also, keep busy. Distraction works wonders initially. Go for a walk, read, work on a project. You'll probably find those hunger pangs are surprisingly mild, and often they just disappear completely within a week or two as your body adjusts. It learns to tap into its stored energy. Now, the social side. Look, you're not giving up food you love or eating with people. You're just changing the timing. Maybe your first meal becomes a weekend brunch or an early lunch during the week. Many people actually find their appetite regulates better. They become more intuitive eaters, enjoying food more when they do eat rather than just eating out of habit. But, and this is critical, if you are on medications, especially for things like diabetes or blood pressure, you must talk to your doctor. Your needs might change as your metabolic health improves, sometimes quite quickly. So work with a healthcare provider who gets intermittent fasting. And yeah, you might get pushback. Friends, family might worry because that breakfast myth is so strong. Just remind yourself and maybe gently remind them you're exploring cutting-edge science here. It's not some random diet fad.
That's a great point. It's not about deprivation, it's about alignment, working with your body. And what I love is it's free, no special shakes, no expensive supplements. It actually simplifies things. One less meal to plan and prepare. It feels very accessible. So wrapping this up, this really is more than just tweaking your meal schedule, isn't it? It's about challenging potentially decades of marketing noise, that cultural programming we talked about, and maybe, just maybe, reconnecting with your body's actual signals, learning true hunger versus just habit.
Precisely. And isn't it an exciting thought that maybe this fountain of youth everyone's been looking for, maybe it wasn't out there somewhere, maybe it's been inside you this whole time, just waiting for you to stop interrupting its natural, powerful, self-healing work each morning.
It really makes you think. Seriously, pause for a second and consider. What could your life look like if you consistently had more energy, sharper thinking, better sleep, less aches and pains from inflammation, stable blood sugar, a body that feels stronger, more resilient, and maybe ages more gracefully than you thought possible? So here's a little challenge, something practical you can try. Just an experiment. Tomorrow morning, you wake up, you feel that automatic pull towards the kitchen, that habit loop for breakfast. What if instead you just had a glass of water, maybe went for a short walk, read a chapter of a book, called a friend, just do something enjoyable for an hour or two past your usual breakfast time, and just notice. Notice your body, your energy, your focus. Notice if that hunger is really a roaring beast or maybe just a mild suggestion that passes.
Because ultimately, this isn't just about skipping a meal. It's about potentially reclaiming so much more. Your health, your energy, your mental clarity. It's about reclaiming your power to actively influence how you age. The choice really is yours. To trust the science that's emerging or stick with the marketing story we've been told for so long.